Infinite like figure eight, there's no escape. From that what? Knowledge self. Determination. From that what? Knowledge self. Determination. From that what? Knowledge self. Determination. From that what? Knowledge self. Determination.
Said that his legacy is complicated because of the sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time. Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, you know, let's go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Kobe's, he was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible. I just don't believe that. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, but it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify. So it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
Gayle King, out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that? I swear to God, we the worst. We the fucking worst. We expect more from you, Gayle. Don't you hang out with Oprah? Why y'all attacking us? We your people. You ain't coming after fucking Harvey Weinstein asking them dumb ass questions. I get sick of y'all. I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call him one? Funky dog-head bitch. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker. Respect the family and back off, bitch, before we come get you.
Gayle King, why the fuck would you ask some shit like that? I don't give a fuck who friend it is. I don't give a fuck she can Obama. Why the fuck would you do something like that? Why would you do that to your people? You know what people going through, right? Why would you ask a fucking question like that, trying to tarnish somebody's image? You do that to your own black people. You say it. I'm finna fire your ass up. You say it, bro. People be talking, black people need to stop fucking trying to hurt black people for success. It's all the reason you ask that fucking shit for, to get your fucking numbers up. Give a fuck who you can to.
I've been up reading the comments about the interview I did with Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant. And I know that if I had only seen the clip that you saw, I'd be extremely angry with me too. I am mortified, I'm embarrassed, and I am very angry. Unbeknownst to me, my network put up a clip from a very wide-ranging interview, totally taken out of context, and when you see it that way, it's very jarring. It's jarring to me. I didn't even know anything about it. I started getting calls. What the hell are you doing? Why did you say this? What is happening? I did not know what people are talking about. So I've been told, or I've been advised, to say nothing. Just let it go. People will drag you. People will troll you. It'll be over in a couple of days. But that's not good enough for me, because I really want people to understand what happened here and how I'm feeling about it. I reached out to Lisa because I know that she's a longtime friend of Kobe's, to talk about his legacy and their friendship. We had a really wide-ranging interview, talked about many things: his career, passion, his sense of humor, the way he was mentoring other people, how he was starting his next chapter. It was wide-ranging. And yes, we talked about that court case, because that court case has also come up. And I wanted to get Lisa's take on it as a friend who knew him well, what she thought, where that should stand. And I thought it was very powerful when she looked me in the eye as a member of the media to say it's time for the media to leave it alone and to back off. During the course of the interview, I asked follow-up questions because I wanted to make sure that her position and perspective were very clear. And at the end, when she said it's time to leave it alone, as I said, I thought that was powerful. And I insisted that that part be in the interview because I thought that it put a nice button on that part of the conversation. When the interview aired, we got a great reaction to it. I talked to Lisa last night. I believe that Lisa was okay with the interview. And I felt really good about the interview. Really good about the interview. So for the network to take the most salacious part when taken out of context and put it up online for people who didn't see the whole interview is very upsetting to me, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with them. And there will be a very intense discussion about that. I also want to say this. I have been with Kobe Bryant on many social occasions. He was very kind and very warm to me, and I felt that we had a friendly relationship. I, too, am mourning his loss, just like everybody else. I still am shocked by it. It's tragic and untimely, and the last thing I would want to do is disparage him at this particular time. And I hope people understand that. And that's why I'm taking this time to speak to you directly. I've never done one of these before. I've never done one of these before, but this was so important to me that I felt I had to say something. I don't want to sit up on a set and read a prepared remark. I wanted you to hear exactly where I'm coming from and how I'm feeling, and to let everybody know that no disrespect intended. And now I've got to go to work. I thank you for listening.
Gayle King opened up about the Me Too movement in a profile with the New York Times, which published online on Wednesday. The CBS This Morning anchor extensively discussed how the movement evolved from a topic she covered on the news to something she's had to face head-on as a number of her colleagues at CBS have been accused of sexual misconduct and harassment. King's co-worker Charlie Rose, who co-hosted CBS This Morning alongside CBS CEO Les Moonves and 60 Minutes executive producer Jeff Fager, have all been accused of misconduct over the past year. King told The Times that you can hold two ideas in your head at the same time, meaning that she believes the accusers while also believing that the accused men shouldn't be banished for life. She also discussed the possibility of redemption for the men accused, saying, "There must be room for some redemption somewhere. I don't know what the answer is to that, and it might be too soon. Maybe people don't want to hear that." King added that it is difficult to talk about the Me Too movement and brought up Matt Damon's comments as an example. "They took his head off, and I actually agree with what he was saying. That doesn't mean I'm discounting what the women are saying. I'm just saying that we can't paint everybody with the same brush." King said she isn't sure what Rose's next career steps will be, and while she doesn't anticipate on working with Rose again, she revealed that they do still keep in touch. "I know there are two sides to every story. That's what I know," she said, before sharing that she recently called Rose to check in on him after he had a health scare. The Times reached out to Rose for a comment, to which he responded via email, "Hallelujah, the Sunday Times is profiling Gayle. There is a God in heaven." Rose did eventually speak with the Times and had nothing but praise for his former co-host. For more on the story,
Have
about questions that will be answered and will not be answered, and this was one of those instances where questions were only supposed to be about a particular subset of individuals, and I certainly can't go back and second guess the work that was done by able counsel in that deposition. But what's important there is that the questions that Mr. Cosby did answer, and candidly, more candidly than many I've seen in depositions in all the years I've been practicing, those answers were: one, that he never gave a woman a drug without her consent, and two, that he did not have non-consensual sex with any other person. So that's why it's important for me to go to whomever I can who will listen and say that Mr. Cosby, as of today, is innocent until proven guilty, and there shall not be proof because the statute of limitations has passed. People waited far too long to want to discuss these matters at all. He's never been charged with a crime, never been convicted of a crime, and never admitted a crime. So where we stand right now is with people attempting to do through media and through public opinion what they cannot do and have failed to do in a court of law.
I understand what you say, that your client is saying, that Mr. Cosby is saying, but the fact is that 37 women say that Bill Cosby raped or sexually assaulted them, and some say that they were drugged. And I know he says that none of that happened, but are you saying, or is your team saying, that all of these women are lying?
And I'm not calling anyone a liar. What I'm saying is that Mr. Cosby vehemently denies those allegations, and I actually reject the clumping. I know that it's probably more impressive when we say numbers like 35 or 37, but 37 women are not saying that they were raped. 37 women are not saying that they were sexually assaulted. There, as you said, are a variety of claims that are actually distinct, that are being clumped together, I guess, because it's easier than doing what to me should be the hard work and asking the hard questions.
They are distinct, but none of them are very positive when it comes to Mr. Cosby. But let me ask you, have you ever seen a case where 37 separate accusers, even if they have different stories, many of them are close to identical, but where they were all making it up?
I don't know who's making what up. I'm not really comparing it to any other cases. What I'm saying is that yes, through the decades we have seen what we used to call lynch mobs, where people turned and pointed the finger at one person and accused that one person of doing something that they did not do, and they were filed into the court one after another to say he did it, she did it, when it was not the case. That happened often in the 60s and 70s in this country, and actually that's not what's happening now, because we can't even go into a courtroom to get these matters resolved. Some say that the statute of limitations has expired and that's convenient for Mr. Cosby. I disagree. I think it's convenient for accusers, because then they're not required to do what would happen if they actually had to be brought into court and stand under the scrutiny of examination for the allegations that they're bringing now.
Will Mr. Cosby ever come out publicly on his own without a lawyer like yourself speaking for him and say anything about these allegations?
I can't say what Mr. Cosby will or will not do at a point in the future, but what I know for sure is that in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. It's not guilty until proven innocent. Mr. Cosby doesn't have anything to prove. He's speaking through his lawyers so that the record can be set straight, but he has the right to say nothing at all.
Monique Presley, thank you very much for your time.